welcome back to another Can We Talk episode. We've had so much fun doing these interviews with some of our friends here at InspireChurch, and I hope that that's encouraged you as well to kind of get to know the people around you. One of our best things that we love doing here is we love service, but we also love after service where we get to talk and meet with people. Yeah, I think that's one of the hallmarks of our church is that there's a lot of people in some of our locations, but it also still feels like you can talk to the person next to you. So our goal is that we just help bring these conversations to life and get to know some of the people that you might see maybe on stage or in an Instagram post or whatever it might be. And of course, there's different facets of our church, from our kids to our young adults to our youth. And today we're going to highlight a relatively newer group of people in our church who come together and form this incredible collaboration, this network of people across the state and also even across the nation. And it's been incredible to watch this group just thrive. We've been able to bring in new folks and help them develop each other. And I'm talking about our business sector, the people who are involved in our businesses, our local businesses here in Hawaii, who are making an impact not just in their companies and through the services that they provide, but also in a much more kingdom way where they're investing in people and rather than just practice, but they're really helping to build God's kingdom through the business venture and the marketplace. And today we get the honor of welcoming our dear friend. I like to call him the mayor of Honolulu, sometimes the president or the king of Honolulu. It depends.
It changes. It changes.
He runs the whole show over there on that side of the
By
island.
living in my house.
If you live on the eastern shore of Oahu and you pass by the palace that is on the outside corner of Kahana Bay, you can of course find this lovely man.
Are you giving
here.
my address away? Is this?
We're just gonna go hang out there. Everyone, welcome Russell Kimura here to our Can We Talk episode. Show some love in the chat or in the comments below that you love this guy, because we do. And of course, you might have seen him throughout many different episodes here for our collective segments that we had last year. Of course, even on stage here at Inspire Waikele, but we just thought we'd take some time to get to know you. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, is this your first time doing any type of sit-down interviews like this? Are you a natural in front of the camera?
This is the first time I've done a interview with such a professional like you. So,
wow.
I'm excited.
Already?
I'm really glad to.
This is why I like hanging out with Russell. I just
be able to do one of these.
Get positive affirmation all day. We've been a part of essentially the framework of Inspire through Pastor Mike, right? You've been a part of his whole. His ministry from the very early start. Tell us about your origins.
So Pastor Mike and I we go way back. In fact, back when I was a young buck in high school at Castle High School in Kaneohe, Pastor Mike was just coming in to take over youth pastor at Hope Chapel Kaneohe, and I was just coming in as a high school freshman. So I was eager to learn and serve and kind of understand what this was all about. And I actually remember, I think I might have shared this one time, but I remember it was like a Halloween night and everyone was going out to, and youth service was right on Halloween night.
This was only like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so it was very, very fresh. And Pastor Mike, who was a brand new youth pastor, said, we're going to do service anyway. I don't know who's going to come. And there was like 4 of us. And so we just pulled the chairs around and we all sat in a big circle and we just listened to him chat. I don't remember what we talked about, but so that was kind of the beginning where I got to meet him, and he was just coming in as a youth pastor. I was just coming in as a freshman in high school. And so, that was my introduction into, I guess, Pastor Mike and his ministry as it first started, which is really cool.
And you were, of course, you said Castle High School. Go Knights.
Go Knights.
Come on, I'm sorry.
Come on, KSSO.
Wow.
Hey.
There it is. Were you part of like the theater crew over there? I know that school is very much known for.
Castle has one of the best theater programs. I did theater when I was younger, from 5th to 8th grade, and then I transitioned into doing more student government sports at Castle.
Wow.
And so I actually brought Pastor Mike in. I want to say he was like the chaplain of, I got him to be chaplain of one of the sports teams there. Wow. I would bring him to assembly sometimes, different things like that, so it was really fun. And we got to kind of grow together. We would meet before school at the McDonald's by Castle and go through the 1 minute Bible together. So I got discipled learning God's word with Pastor Mike, as he was just eager to, anyone that would listen,
Yeah.
take interest in what we're doing in a youth group and leadership and God's word. And so I became one of his leaders and helped them run camps and
Right.
doing different things. So it's really fun. That, again, was just a couple years ago, but
Right.
no, well, we know that Inspire has been around for a long time. So this
Yeah.
is pre-Inspire, pre Hope Chapel West Oahu, but really grateful for that foundation and the relationship. God just kind of placed him in my life at a crucial time. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
ninth grade, you're figuring out so many things, and just to have that kind of leader in my life is just, I can't see why it's not God saying, here you go.
Yeah.
So,
I can imagine how Pastor Mike was as a youth leader. I mean, not really, honestly, not too far out there, because he reaches the youth just as, in fact, I think even more so
Oh, yeah.
now. But I feel like, man, I would have had a lot of fun.
oh man. Yeah, he's
You know?
he's a kid at heart, as you can see. Like, he just has that in him. I think he's a youth pastor at heart. He always
Yeah.
says that, and so our youth group just blew up. Just because he's so funny. He's a great communicator.
Right.
Loves to have fun. Understands leadership. We built a really good team. Our camps were just dynamic, and we had a camp called Holy Sanctified Aliens.
I'm sorry, say that one
yeah,
more
yeah.
time.
So we had shirts and it said Holy Sanctified Aliens. And so the idea of like, we're not
Wow.
of this world, we're aliens here. We're in that, we're made for heaven, but while we're here,
Right.
we're kind of foreigners necessarily, I guess is what the idea was, but it was like Holy Sanctified Aliens. And I think it was at Bellows, we had a camp together, and really, really fun stuff.
I kind of want. Oh, okay. We're gonna find a photo.
I have a picture.
Thank you in
Yeah.
advance for the photo.
Yeah.
That's where. That's. Do you have the shirt still?
I don't have the shirt. I might fit the shirt. I don't have the shirt though.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
So,
awesome.
yeah, it was fun. I mean, that was just one of them.
You're there, and of course, you meet someone very special, and that blossomed into now. Of course, you
Oh, yeah, my wife.
are here with your wife,
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yes, she was a part of the youth group. She was kind of in the old regime, the old youth pastor who was kind of exiting out. So
Okay.
she kind of got the tail end of Pastor Mike's leadership in the
Right.
youth group. And so we met through Hope Chapel Kaneohe. And then,
Yeah.
so our families were kind of in touch and we knew each other, whatnot. And then we both went off to college in separate places. She went to Kansas, I went to Washington.
Wow.
And over time, found our way back into contact, and and we got married and back to our hometown. We lived in Kaneohe for a while when
Wow.
we first married. So
So you have a wonderful family.
yeah, 3 girls,
Yeah,
3
and
beautiful daughters.
They are also, extremely creative girls. They've
They're in the arts.
yeah.
Yeah.
And one of like bakes more than I could even attempt to cook.
Yeah, Lily Grace, she is 11, and in COVID she just decided to start baking a lot more. And
Yeah.
then we said, hey, what if you because it was super good, and someone was like, why don't you sell these? I was like, we could try to do that. So she
Yeah.
started a little baking business, Lily Sweet Treats, and she provides these amazing cookies many times. She started doing lemon bars, brownies, different things for
Wow.
just family, friends, and then organizations. She
Yeah.
baked, I want to say 600 cookies for a real estate company. I think it was Marina. She's a member here, and she asked if she could do thank you gifts to her clients. And so over Christmas, Lily did 600 cookies. She boxed them not individuals, half a dozen in each box, tied it all up. And it was incredible
Wow.
how much cookies she baked, and so it's really, really fun.
That's awesome. I bring up Lily because that's an entrepreneur spirit
Yeah.
within her. And I think, of course, it was bred by a lot of what God's journey with you was,
Yeah.
especially in your professional development. Tell us about how you went into your first careers, and at the same time, at some point, there had to have been a part where you're like, there's got to be more than I can do with this. I mean, of course, I can just keep at it and keep doing the
Sure.
grind, but I'm sure there's, Lord, do something within me that I can do some more with this.
Yeah.
Tell us about that whole.
Yeah, if you don't
journey.
mind, I'll go all the way back to even college. When I went to Whitworth College in Spokane, Washington. It's a liberal arts.
Whitworth?
What up? 509.
Go Cougars.
Nope, but that's okay. It's Pirates.
Pirates.
Small Christian liberal arts college, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And so I started. It's liberal arts, so you got to take a whole bunch of classes. And so
Right.
one of the requirements, even if you're not Christian, you had to take a biblical studies course. So
Okay.
part of the requirements, I took one, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like, this is my homework. I got to go read Romans.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, you
All
know, this
right.
is kind of my homework, you know. And then I started really digging in, and eventually I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get a theology degree. So I studied, you know, there's theology track, and I got a degree in theology and,
Wow.
you know, speech communications. And then I decided, you know, I think I'm going to be a pastor. So I went into ministry as a college pastor at Hope Chapel Kaneohe right out of
Wow.
college.
Wow.
And,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was cool. I mean, I was literally just a college graduate, so it was kind of funny leading some college students, but it was fun. It was a fun 2 years of learning about ministry and thinking, hey, you know, I got a theology degree. This is what I'm supposed to do because I got my degree in this, and nothing wrong with that. I just, and then God transitioned me into some other things outside of the church. After the 2 years, I moved to become a waiter in Waikele. I was teaching at Kamehameha schools part-time,
Yeah.
and eventually made my way into the marketplace, so to speak. I did outside sales with credit card processing.
Right.
And that was a great journey, like just learning business and learning people, because I had no experience in that. I thought I was going to be a pastor for the rest of my life as a titled pastor. Now, I still consider myself
okay.
like a shepherd and to help people
Sure,
in any
sure.
way, but maybe I'm not getting paid in my title as a pastor, but I thought that's what my vocation and my career was going to be.
Yeah.
And God had other plans. And so moved me into that. And so I did credit card processing and outside sales for 11 plus years with that
Wow.
company. And it was amazing. You know, I learned so much.
What was it about that? And a lot of it had to do with direct customer interaction.
Yeah.
You had to develop basically a passion for it, but you also had to understand that this was a livelihood move for a lot of them. This was a investment not just for the sake of making money, but this was also a shift in how they would themselves foresee their own businesses. Right? It was kind of a move that they had to we got to take the next level.
The business owners?
Yeah, the business owners.
Yeah, it was such a cool, like, coming alongside them and helping them, supporting them, right? Because they're taking payments, and so many times we would
Right.
come in and say, hey, you know, there's a portion of your business, you do many things, but part of it's taking payments, and if we can help you, you know, save money or
Sure.
make it a little bit more efficient, get, you know, your service be a little bit better, we're helping you focus on because they. You know, you got all kinds of business owners, art, and they're doing restaurant or nail salon. They don't have time for a little machine. They want that to work. Like, I want to be able to take payments and not worry about it. I want to
Sure.
focus on doing nails. I want to focus on doing the restaurant side. And so we would come in and support them. And I got to really get to know the business owners, which was really cool. See different industries, get to see their livelihood. Yeah, like, it's crazy because over the years, they saw my family grow up as I saw their family grow up. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you have another, you know.
It's a relationship
It's a
at that
relationship.
point.
So it's really cool to,
Wow.
even to this day, you know, where I'm no longer doing some of that with that company, I still have relationships with some of these people, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I remember when your daughter was just born, and now she's 13." You know, I
Wow.
was like, "Yeah." I mean, time
Oh my
flies, you know.
goodness.
Or like, actually, I have one nail salon that I worked with for 10 plus years, and my Lily, who's 11. I promised her, I forgot about this. She reminded me, you promised me I'd get a pedicure and I was like, oh yeah, I did. So I took her over to Pro Nails and she got her nails done and she got her feet done.
Beautiful.
And it was such a cool, I mean, she was just glowing and excited. And my friend who owns the business was just like, don't worry about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, we want to try it. You know, she
Right.
did it out of love to just bless my daughter. I was like, that's so
Wow.
cool to see, like, and she was like super excited. So like the relationship is everything, like in
Yeah.
you know, in business or anything, right? In life,
Yeah.
it's about the relationships, right? And we serve a relational God. Like, it's not
Yeah.
a transaction, so to
Yeah.
speak. And sometimes people think business is just transactional.
Right.
And, you know, I know we're going to get into Inspire Collective a little bit later, but
Yeah.
like, we really believe that it's about the relationship that's being built,
Right.
and that continues. And then if business comes out of it, great. But at the end of the day, you know, we're about people, right? God said,
Right.
love me and love others, right? Those are kind of the biggest two commandments. And so we try to live that out
Yeah.
in anything. It doesn't just have to be in the church. In fact, he's saying go out and do that. Don't just
Literally
stay-
says go out.
Go out. And so we're called to do that. And I think it's a great place to be able to, you know, and as business happens, you're doing it with people. And
Right,
so it's
exactly.
an amazing transition to being able to help people in business, but also like build relationships, because that's ultimately what we're about, you know.
So you get this entire basically acumen of people. You've built this understanding of them. You also have this knowledge of your craft and of how business can work really well and effectively. and then you go into another venture. Now it's with solar.
Yeah.
And it's a little different. It's a little different approach, but also because of the fact that you have that under your belt. You're now a bit more seasoned, yes, but you're also, you understand the different dynamics about how you can make this really work. And it's been the same thing the whole time through. Relationship. You're building relationships with these clients.
Yeah.
And you're helping them see how this is still a life-changing thing for them, but also something that can be very, very monumental for them and their families. And
Sure.
it's so much more personal, right?
Yeah.
How has that whole journey, we're going to the collective, and you're bringing this network of people together, and you're helping them to understand these different dynamics of building your businesses while building the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
How has that grown you? How has that grown your faith personally?
Yeah. The more and more I realize what we do, I like the saying, it's not always, most times it's not about what we think it's about. Like we think we're doing, business, or we think we're doing, education, or, I mean, we are, but, you think you're doing something for a reason.
Right.
And then if you almost step back and look and could almost see things through like God's lens, he's like, well, you are doing that, but you're actually doing that because I placed you here for dual purpose. Not just, I mean, there's still a purpose. It's not like I'm just selling solar, to meet people, but really I am selling solar to meet people. Like God's placed me in that place to help homeowners and families save on their electricity. Yes. Yeah. But furthermore, build a relationship. And so when I realized that, and when we meet with these business owners or any leaders in the community that come to these collective events, Inspire Collective, we realize like, man, we're helping them to understand that it really truly is first and foremost about relationship, because we serve a relational God. And it gives so much more purpose, right? And so the grind can start to be redefined, so to speak. Is not just about grind has an implication of it's like, it's hard.
And I got to trudge through this.
I'm gonna make some money, but it's just so hard, and I got to do this. And if you think of it that way, it is a grind, right? It is like a chore, but you're still serving people, right? And so what we try to do is reframe it and help people understand. Yeah, business is business. It's not like you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm holy and saved, and money's just gonna come to me.
It will be all well now.
It's perfect. I just focus on people, and the money comes.
Everything.
You still got to do what you got to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when you realize you're there for a purpose, and so like I think what we do in the Inspire Collective is try to reframe and help people understand you have a purpose that's far beyond your business.
Sure.
Whether you realize it or not, you have people coming in your doors every day. You're servicing people, whether you're a teacher, whether you are a nurse, whether you are a business owner, whether you are a general manager of a store. Yeah. You are either over people and leading them, or helping customers on a daily basis. And if you say, well, I reframe that to, I'm not just making a paycheck, but I'm making a difference for God's kingdom within that. I mean, it's not that hard of a shift, but it sometimes is hard. So when we gather together and we start talking about purpose, and we start talking about, hey, what does kingdom look like for you in your day to day? It's not just come to church on Sunday and that's your kingdom contribution. You get your fix, and then now you go back into the world and try not to sin.
Hope it goes well until you come back.
That's not how God wanted us to live. Whereas but sometimes people have this framework of like, oh, I got to be good. Oh, I messed up. Okay, I got to go church, and then hopefully I can be good this week. Like, I don't think that's how God designed us to live, and that's not what Christianity is about, right? It's not like when you think of like even a relationship with my wife, it's not like, okay, we're gonna go like once a week to this thing, and then hopefully we survive the week, and then we go back to this thing again, and we're good. No, it's a relationship. Yeah, it's an ongoing relationship.
Take, and there's a growth that happens through the difficulties, through the challenges that may or may not have been expected. And it all builds, like Pastor Mike always reminds us, resilience. It builds us into a space where we're going to get some calluses, spiritual calluses.
Absolutely.
Because we've walked through some stuff with certain situations and with people, and that's life, and that's humanity in its rarest form. But at the same time, we have a helper. We have the Holy Spirit. We have the kingdom is among us. And so it's like, why wouldn't we gather in that sense, to help edify each other, help.
No,
build each other
absolutely.
up,
And I
right?
think the church is absolutely essential. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't meet on Sundays at all. I think it's really, really essential that we
Yeah.
do that. I do think that it's misaligned if we think that's the only time that we engage God, or as if
Right,
that's the
exactly.
only time that we are spiritual,
Yeah.
and then we go back to our daily lives, and then I got to come back to church again because it's been 7
Yeah.
days, and now I got to go back to church. No, like we are the church.
Yeah.
And in fact, the church is the equipping station.
Yeah.
Like the church is, we gather so we can be encouraged, so we can lift up the name of
Yeah.
Jesus, but also be equipped so that as we go into whatever it is, whether in the marketplace. So if you're
Yeah.
in the business world, you're in politics, you're in athletics, entertainment, music, whatever it is, God's equipping us to be salt and light
Right.
in that sphere. And if everyone could just think of the impact that can continue to be made and the change that can happen,
Yeah.
through us collectively
Yeah.
as believers, but also as kingdom-minded individuals and professionals. And so the idea of Inspire Collective, as we gather people together and we do these coffee talks and we do these pauhanas and we do
Right.
these business workshops, we do these bigger events, power evenings, we want to have a unique blend between inspiration and application, meaning we want to inspire you. Yeah, we want you to get excited about what's happening, what you're capable of, but we want to have an application to how can you further your business, because that's important. The reality is we need to be excellent in that.
Practicality of it.
And then there's a spiritual aspect to that, is that we're not just doing this to make money. I mean, yes, money is a byproduct of commerce and selling and doing things
Right.
and serving customers, of course. But there's a bigger purpose, and that's how we build God's kingdom.
Right,
And so
right.
when we start to reframe people's ideas of I guess purpose over profit. Not that we don't want to make money. We absolutely need
Right,
to
of
make.
course.
In fact, you're going to make more money as you put
Yeah.
purpose first, in the sense of, God, I'm here because you've placed me in this place. Like, I don't do solar and do solar. I don't sell solar or do Aloha Energy Savings just so I can make a whole bunch of money. I do it because
Yeah.
I know God's placed me in a position to lead others, my team, to sell, but also
Right.
help homeowners who are struggling in Hawaii. Electricity is ridiculous, right? And
Yes.
so, like, hey, let's find solutions that are going to help you. Like, even if I can save you $50, $100 on your electric bill,
Yeah.
shoot, what would that do to a family who's struggling right now, but now can help maybe pay for something else for their children or for
Right.
their, whatever that is. It brings an additional layer of purpose to what I do.
Yeah.
But
But you put purpose before profit, you'll get purpose in the profit.
yeah, absolutely.
After that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's such an interesting thing, because work or career or studies, whatever it might be, takes up so much of our time throughout
Mhm.
the week, and we try to do it by ourselves.
Yeah.
Literally and spiritually, we try to do it spiritually by ourselves
Yep.
without asking God to fortify it, to enrich it, to enliven it. This gift that we prayed for years for.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of, okay, thank you so much. We got it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Why wouldn't you just keep asking him
Right.
to help you with that? And then at the same time, physically and literally, it's bringing together the body of
Right.
believers in that marketplace, in that network, whatever it might be. And I think these coffee talks, I love the coffee talks. I love this very practical approach to networking that starts your day off, literally, like you start your day off with that. It encourages you very intimately with a smaller group of people, but at the same time, when you come together for these large power evenings,
Yeah.
it's so much more richer, because I think in the very beginning, it was like we're getting to know each other.
Sure.
And now it's just like, we have to get people to sit down at the table.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, we're going to start now.
Yeah.
I love that you guys are catching
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
We're going to
We
start
start the program.
I was a little late because everyone's just excited to
Yeah.
just be with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the purpose too.
Oh, absolutely. You get people who are like-minded in a room. The energy is just electric. And through those things, business deals are being made, or relationships are being built, networks are being created, and inevitably business happens. But you also get inspired by realizing, man, God's called us to excellence. One of the last power evenings, Pastor Mike talked about his book and about
Right.
excellence, right? And so people were left really encouraged to step up their game in whatever they're doing.
Right.
But then also at the table, I know people are meeting people and wow, I didn't know you do this. Oh, next time I need a mechanic. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
or accountant, great. I actually know someone, whatever, right?
Right.
And so things happen through that, just kind of the the relationship and the events and the different things we're doing, but we want to equip people to be the best that they can be in whatever sphere of influence they are. So ultimately, the more impact we can make, where we have these, I don't say kingdom businesses, but people who are kingdom minded that are living with a dual purpose, not just to make money, but we do need you to make money, because if you don't make money, you're gonna shut your doors, and then
the delivery of it. Also there's the content, which is what we're bringing in through the gospel and through the helping each other out and edifying this network. But at the same time, it's the delivery of it that you have to be practical in making it happen in this world.
There's a practicality to it. And so like I would say that the Inspire Collective aims at trying to give the practical side. That's why we do these business insights and workshops. We have one coming up in August, and it's going to be all be marketing and branding, right? So, well, if you have a business and you're in sales or you need to market and brand, that's a practical need for you to hopefully expand your business and grow. And so these little tools are helpful, but a lot of the gold is in the relationships and the community that's built. And people are like, man, I'm so encouraged. And you say, well, I get that through Connect groups. Absolutely. But this is focused for the professional who is, in a place of understanding. My primary way of doing things in my career and business is making money, but how do I connect the two? Because I think there's been, Pastor Mike's vision when I sat down with him, and he kind of was giving me the idea, the inception of like, I was thinking about priests and kings coming together, and he kept talking about that. Priests meaning kind of like the church or the pastors, and kings meaning like the marketplace, the business owners and the leaders of the marketplace, whatever sphere of influence. And them coming together, he kept just seeing this happening. And for so long, I think there's been this divide where like, you do the church stuff, like you pastors do that, and we'll do the business stuff here. But the collective is kind of bringing those two together. Not to say that there's no room. I mean, absolutely, there's a place for a pastor, and there's a role there for sure. But I know Pastor Mike's heart is, I want to equip all of these business owners, like almost so to speak, you're the pastor of your business. Like you are the shepherd of these people. Maybe you're not by title, like I'm pastor / business owner. I don't know. But what you are is you're called and tasked to love these people that you are, all your employees, love these customers, like whatever your sphere of influence. And if every business owner and every manager and every teacher and every nurse and every doctor and every politician, like if everyone took that call serious, not saying seriously, but I guess seriously, like took it to the degree that
I'm so much more than my title.
I'm so much more than just this. But in fact, I'm first a child of God. And I take that into whatever I do, versus I'm an accountant who also is a Christian. Okay, what does that mean? Right? But if I'm first identified as a child of God, and by the way, I'm, because whenever I identify that I'm a child of God, and then I also do some solar and I do some credit card processing. Cool, I do all this stuff. But first and foremost, I know who I am and I know why I'm here. And so again, purpose, it brings purpose to what I'm doing, rather than trying to fit it in where like, I'm going to slap a Christian symbol on my brochure. So that's what makes me like, no, it's more than that. It's who you are and how you function within it. God's going to allow that to grow according to how he wants it to. And the impact's going to even be greater. So
and
that's the way
the overflow from that.
Absolutely.
Identity, that shift in perspective will fall into all these different spheres in your own life where you realize, I don't actually have to do anything more than to just be the very person God's called me to be in every single situation and in every role that I play.
I absolutely agree. And so much of our lives, I feel, are trying to be someone else that we think someone else wants us to be, right? I think my parents want me to do this, or I think my spouse or my boss or whatever, and again, there's nothing wrong with like being obedient to certain things. Like you can't just, be a rebel and I don't care, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. But at the same time, like you said, just being enough of who you are in that, I think those individuals, when they find that peace, so to speak, they're going to be able to flourish far more than someone trying to fit themselves into what everyone else wants them to be. But like, God, what do you want me to be? And why did you create me the way you did? And can I fulfill that to the nth degree, to the best of my abilities, and then trust that everything is just going to figure out. Like that's a constant journey that I'm on, to think, okay, God, how have you created me, and how can I maximize it to give you glory and be as congruent in who I am and how I've been created.
Right.
And then trust to see what happens, like almost like an experiment. I don't know, but let's go try see what
Yeah.
happens. And he's never failed me. Like it's just been.
I kind of
you
like
know.
that danger though. I kind of grown in like personally on faith wise. I kind of like that danger aspect of like, I don't know what's gonna happen, God, but I'm good with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, the more and more I slowly let go of like that part, I've found it so much more thrilling in my own faith.
Sure.
Because I feel like I'm just skydiving.
Yeah.
You know, and my parachute is God. Now wherever I land is where I land.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm good.
Yeah,
Either way.
and I would even say like danger. You call it danger because it's uncertain many times, or we don't know what's around the corner, or we can't see it. But that's actually okay. Let me be careful. It's the definition of faith in the sense where faith is believing in something we can't see, right?
Right,
And then and in Hebrews it talks about it's impossible to please God without faith.
Right.
Yet. So we might call it danger because again we're so used to the comfortable, like the planned out, meticulous plan. Like I know I have plan A, B, and C and D, and then if D fails, I have C, G,
Right,
E, F, G.
right.
Which there's nothing wrong with planning, and not that we just want to live reckless, but
Right.
I do think that there is a certain level of. And we call it danger, but excitement, exhilaration, like skydiving is definitely dangerous. It's exhilarating. I have never done it, but I'm just saying I can imagine the danger, the excitement of it, but also like the lack of control. I mean, it is control, but it's like, oh my gosh, I'm free falling,
Right.
you know? And there's a trust in that parachute, right?
Right.
I'm trusting that thing is going to hold
Right.
me. And it's not as, and so... not that we have to be skydiving in all of areas of our life
Right,
necessarily.
but it's like you bring this group of people together, and I feel like every single time that they network, I know for me, I've met people who are also in the software side, who will just text each other, "Hey, I know you got a big project coming up. Just want to say we're praying for you."
Yeah.
And I think that for me that helps a lot because it builds me up as a professional. It builds me up as a person, a man of God, but also at the same time, when we come together, it encourages me that we're moving in the right direction,
Yeah.
that we're bringing change
Yeah.
to that. So I love that. That's what Inspire Collective has grown into. And of course, we got so much more events coming in for the rest of the year. We've got more of the coffee talks happening, more power evenings. Someone who's wanting to join in, what can they expect when they come in?
Yeah, there's so many on-ramps into Inspire
Right.
Collective, which is really great. We have the coffee talks first Tuesday of every month, and then we have which is in town right now in Ali'i Coffee. Good coffee.
Shout out to James Webb
James
over
Webb.
there.
And then we have one in Kailua on the last Tuesday of every month. And so those are like, different kind of ways people could interact with a smaller group of people,
Right,
which is a
right.
little bit more intimate. Coffee talk, right? In the morning, 7 a.m. And then we have quarterly now, we're going to be doing these pauhanas, which is a little bit bigger, where we can invite our friends and we can kind of discuss, like network, but also, discuss a topic. We might bring in a speaker here and there to do some pauhanas. And then we also are doing these business workshops, insight
Right.
workshops. So within that, there's specific, like I said, the next one coming up is going to be on marketing and branding. Josh is going to be speaking there. And then you're going to get some practical tips and tools on how to market your business or market different things like that.
Sure.
So like there's different pockets, and then we're going to be starting up some masterminds potentially in different areas. So like if it's a real estate mastermind and we find a leader that can run that, and we're going to do that, or
Sure.
maybe it's a medical mastermind where people are in the medical field or entertainment or creatives, right? And just kind of getting together and really
Sure.
putting our minds together and how to be excellent in what we do. And then there's obviously there's conference, and
Right,
we got
right.
the bigger power evenings that we sprinkle throughout the year. So in terms of where they can on-ramp anywhere. They can go to the website and check it out as well. But we just want to meet people.
Love
Want to
that.
see now that summer's kind of wrapping up, and we took a break actually for the last couple months because people were traveling and different things. Now we're getting
Sure.
back into it, so we want to like just kind of get back into the fold and gather and network and see
that.
what God can do in terms of taking our businesses to the next level, but also networking us, encouraging and inspiring to have a purpose in what we do in our 9 to 5, and not just going to do a grind and then go to church, like that.
On a personal note, on your own business, what are you looking forward to? What's coming up for you? Anything new?
Well, really excited that God's kind of placed a few guys on my team. So I'm building a team, and so it's really fun to see with the opportunities. Sometimes you can only do so much as one individual. So
true.
and I love building teams, and so there's about 4 guys who are starting to help homeowners take advantage of all these programs that Hiko's giving away rebates for batteries.
I saw this.
And there's so much people that we need to help, and so I want to be able to do this. And there's a program that I stumbled upon that I wasn't aware of till fairly recently, that helps homeowners just in a brief overview, most times people are I can't afford solar. Okay, we have financing. Okay, I can't afford the financing because my credit's bad. Okay, I get that. There are certain qualifications, obviously, to get it. But then I stumbled upon a program that doesn't require any financial backing. No, you don't have to have a good credit score.
Wow.
All these kind of things. And it's actually there's a state fund that can pay for their solar.
Wow. Okay.
And it goes on there. I'm just oh my gosh. And so there's people who thought they never could get solar, and I've been starting to help some families get
That's
it.
awesome.
And it's so and I get why it's a lot of work, and you don't make as much money as all these other ones that people do. But I've definitely found of the solars that we've installed, those have been the most rewarding. Is those people are they're so grateful because they never thought I could never get this, but they literally pay nothing out of pocket, and it lowers their Hiko bill, and they pay back on their Hiko bill. It's a crazy program. I was I didn't even know this existed, because I just think you gotta qualify for it through your credit. So we're going to see if we can partner with some community organizations to get the word out, because honestly it's just a lot about sharing wow, I didn't realize I could get solar with no credit and this and that, and it's just educating, right? And having people beautiful. And so there's a lot of purpose there, because I know there's gonna be a lot of families hurting in these coming months with gas prices, everything is raising. So if we can help them bring at least one of their bills down without anything, they don't have to come up with it. It's oh man. So we're gonna focus some of our attention. Our team's gonna focus helping some of these individuals, and maybe some of the lower income areas, or just people who have hit hard times and have bad credit but want solar. We're gonna help them. So that's kind of the exciting thing coming on the dock here.
I love that. Last question: what does Russell Kimura do on his days off?
Well,
how does he gas up for the next?
Yeah, that's a great. Because of the different dynamics of my life, where I'm always kind of doing something. Days off are super relative to me, because I feel like I'm always working and I'm never working, because I try to be as present as I can at home.
Sure.
And because my family's homeschooled, I'm on the regular trying to have meals with them, whether it's lunch, dinner, as much as I can. But that being said, on my free time, or when I can chunk off a few hours just to kind of relax, no doubt it's going kayak fishing on the water. I'm looking for Owama, because Owama comes in to our shores, and we can fish out the bait fish and then go fish for some papillos. And I take Lily, my daughter, on the kayak, and we go kayak fishing. So that's definitely one of those things. And then we're raising some ducks to get some duck eggs. So we're out in the country.
He's the mayor, you guys.
So that's definitely a joy, to be able to just spend time with family and do things creatively, cook good meals, and just enjoy each other. So that's my day offs, is just being with them and creating memories, and doing some fun things. So I appreciate it. It's fun.
Well, we love you and Sarah and the girls. You guys have been, of course, a part of the story with Inspire from before many of us were even here, but you've definitely helped us out. We always kind of love it when you guys are on stage, because we can kind of see this, the funny, quirky moments amongst the both of you. I'm oh, that's so cute. Look at those two. And then Sarah's just this calming presence on stage. You just you had a great time of worship, and then you just get a nice hug.
Yeah.
It's just my gosh.
Just
I love
warm, welcoming. She has such a presence, which is really cool. And the cool thing is I see that translate into my daughter's dancing. When my daughter dances, she just has this calming, strong presence about her dancing. It's really cool to see that trickle down to her gifting. And if I can share, my daughter and her Prisma, they're doing a student run show, so they're choreographing everything and doing the lighting, doing the production, doing everything. And then they're going to dance in it as well, and have some other people dance in it. And all the funds, so because it's kind of low overhead, and everything that they all the funds they raise is going to go to help a orphanage in Kenya to do a Camp Ohana. It's doing art, so they're learning ukulele, dance, music, and God's word. So that whole program, that whole show, which is going to be, I think, Thanksgiving weekend, is going to fund these 2 orphanages for a whole year for their curriculum and their schooling, and it's really cool to see.
That's
like
awesome.
Them using their gifts. Like, I'm gifted at dancing, great, and let me use that to. One, the show is going to be fire. Like, it's about seasons, and their choreographing is going to be awesome. It's going to generate some money because all people are going to pay to go see that. Then you're going to take those funds, and then they're going to fund this program in Kenya for these orphans who might not have exposure to ukulele, singing, dancing, and then God's word. It's just kind of like you talk about a win-win-win all around.
I love that.
So it's really fun to see my daughter get really excited about starting to choreograph and use her gifts, and so it's going to be a powerful. You can't skip out on this one. You're going to have to come to this one.
I will have to get. Yeah, I did miss the last one. I will have to make this one.
Yeah,
absolutely will.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, thanks, Russ. We've loved getting to know you, and we've loved the journey that God's placed. Not only on you and Sarah and the girls, but also alongside. You've been coming alongside a lot of people who've really made a mark, who've really developed in their faith. And I think, just God's using you.
No, thank you.
Still even more than ever.
Such a pleasure, and I love Inspire Fam. And everyone's so, I love what Pastor Mike and Pastor Lisa are doing and what they've built. And it's just an incredible testimony to God's faithfulness in their life to be able to envision, right? God places mantles on people, and you just see what's being created by their faithfulness. And even just you know, I commend you. Like, you took on the mantle of online when that just blew up during COVID, and it's just been incredible to see the online reach that has happened to the online congregation, so to speak. You've become their guy, and I think you've done a great job with it, and you're really gifted at it, and keep doing it, because we need to go to the ends of the earth, and might as well use the technology we have to do that. So good job. Keep it up, man.
Thank you. We're awesome. Grateful for it, and everyone who's watching. It's funny because I feel like I have friends everywhere, all over the world. Yeah, I can go anywhere and just be like, "How are you doing?"
Yeah, no, you're Mr. Online, and everyone knows you, and I think that's great.
But just what you're saying. Love the vision that Pastor Mike and Lisa have, and we wouldn't honestly have been able to do any of it if they were.
It's their vision. They built it.
They were like, we gotta go. And I'm like, we're going. We're gonna go to the world, y'all. But hey, that's all we have for this segment of Can We Talk? And we hope that, of course, you got to know Russell a little bit more and the story of Inspire Collective. But at the same time, we're also believing and praying that God's going to do something great in your story. And so we'd love to hear it. Email us online at inspire.church. We'd love hearing the stories from all over the world of how God's been moving in everyone's lives. And I hope also encourages you that no matter what sphere you're in, whether you're in education, the military, government, business, ministry in the church, or whatever it might be, that you would begin to see how God is bringing revival and reformation, of course, and we're praying and believing for it in your own life to not only make a difference in the people around you, but right in the spheres that you may not even realize that you have such a great impact on. All right. As always, we love you guys, and take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Aloha. Bye-bye.